The streets of Thornton, Illinois need no introduction to the NR 2003 community. This is madness. This is Thornton. Hello out there, we're on the air, and it's race day today in the Prairie State. It's a beautiful afternoon in Thornton, Illinois, as we welcome you to the streets of Thornton for stop number 9 of the 2024 Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship, the Dollar General Thornton 13. And a pleasant good afternoon to everybody tuning in on a blustery afternoon in the Midwest with live coverage on the North American Sim Racing Network and high in the sky in our ramshackle press box. My name is Trey Wright for the NASRN. We begin the final 4-race set of the 2024 FMGTC season at the most famous course in all of NR 2003, a true street course right down to the stoplights, the medians, and even the street sweepers, with 13 laps on the docket for race number 9 of the season. And like I said, 4 races remain in the inaugural season of the FMGTC Championship after a great race at the Old Spice High Endurance Raceway up in Wisconsin that saw Felipe Santos and Colin Bayer taking home dramatic victories for both GT Le Mans and GT Daytona. Going to the point standing, starting with GTLM, Jaden Russell holds a 14-point lead over Eric Monaco after the race up in Wisconsin. Sebastian Palmer, Blaise Zebratar, and Nathan Orman round out the top 5. Orman 35 points behind Jaden Russell. And a reminder on the point system, 105 points is what you get for winning the race, 95 for second, and so forth, all the way down to 1 point for last place. Of course, you got the 5 bonus points for leading laps, most laps led, fastest pit stop, and the pole. So 5 bonus points going to Zachary Fitzwater, who is now 45 points behind Nathan Orman once they take the green flag today. Riley Sampson, Aguirre Sato, Felipe Santos, and Caleb Rose round out the top 10 in GT Le Mans, and it is still a dogfight for this championship, with Jaden Russell and Skylar Taylor being separated by 89 points, 1st through 11th, separated by 89 points on the grid. Then going to GT Daytona, a much different story with Dylan Matthews starting to run away with this points battle as he has got a 50-point lead over Dustin Davis in that number 26 car. Connor Monaco, Colin Bayer, and John Stewart round out the top 5 in GTD points. Igor Barreto, Daniel Bouchard, Blake Bavillier, Michael Brown, and Juan Rodriguez complete your top 10. Rodriguez, a mammoth. Rodriguez, a magnitude 170 points behind Dylan Matthews. Matthews has been absolutely dominating this season so far, and she starts near the front of this field in GT Daytona in position number 6 in the 026 UPS Ford Mustang. And as for Jaden Russell, he starts deep in the field for GT Le Mans, the number 8 U.S. Army Black Knights Corvette in the 16th spot in that 8 machine. And again, with the limited amount of races remaining, every single point counts for these drivers all the way until we get to Riverside in December. And we've got 4 races between then. We've got the Thornton 13 today, the Long Island Fall Classic at Bridgehampton, the penultimate race on Thanksgiving up in Autumn Hill. That one replacing Barber after Barber had some scheduling conflicts. And of course, the Christmas Day Classic over at Riverside on December 25th. But that is then, and this is right now, as it's once again that time in the broadcast again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go down trackside to get the most famous words in motorsports to kick off the Dollar General Thornton 13.
Drivers, start your engines!
The engines roar to life on the streets in Thornton, just mere moments away from dropping the green flag for today's race. Zachary Fitzwater and Nathan Stapleton start on the front row for GT Le Mans. Corvette trying to get back in the win column after Jaguar got a win over them up in Wisconsin. And back in here for GT Daytona, Josh Harmon leads the field to green in the 88. Alex Lozano starts next to him in the 43. Here for today's race, pace car already booking it down onto the pit lane. Zachary Fitzwater and Nathan Stapleton will lead the field to green. Stapleton just catching back up as the field heads down Margaret Street. Ready to do battle for 13 laps are 42 drivers. Fitzwater and Stapleton see the green flag waving in the air. Race number 9 from Thornton is live. And a good start for Zachary Fitzwater off of the gun as he will lead the field down Schwab Street and into the wooded area. Aguirre Sato was at his 6 o'clock, now he's at his 9 o'clock. The two Corvettes running door to door going through the woods. Sato trying to get around Fitzwater. Fitzwater holding serve in that Bass Pro Shops number 62 for the time being. And already Michelle Gavinou and Felipe Santos issues on the opening lap along with the 6 of Logan Williams. Two heavily damaged Jaguars. And it's not going to be 2 wins in a row for Felipe Santos as Zachary Fitzwater leads the field in a turn number 4. And going for a 4-wide move there was Bradley Ream in the 40. We'll take a look and see what happened to Gavinou, Santos, and Logan Williams on your screen. Those drivers starting towards the tail end of the field. Santos, Gavinou, and Williams starting 15th, 17th, and 19th respectively. But we had a couple of cars going around as they will enter onto the 2.5 mile stretch that makes up State Route 394. These drivers going the distance of the Daytona International Speedway oval course in about half the time it takes. Sato and Ream now door to door, less than a mile away from the interchange onto Interstate 80 as a hungry pack of GT Le Mans cars hunkers down in the distance. Going through the corner is Aguirre Sato, 3 wide for second for a brief moment as Bradley Ream will scoot out to the lead for the time being. Blaze Zebratar a little wide through the corner as the field will go on to Interstate 80, the 2 mile stretch of I-80 trundling towards turn number 7. Is everybody in GT Daytona present and accounted for as Dylan Matthews looks to go to the point for GT Daytona. Josh Harmon getting shuffled back a little bit in that 88 car, falling back to 5th, but he's in the preferred drafting line. 3 cars on a line for Daytona make it 4 as Nagora will transition down to the outside. Paquette and Matthews, a couple of ladies next to each other for GT Daytona. Back up front for GTLM. Sato and Ream going to turn number 7 onto the off-ramp to Halstead Street. Sato will lead them going in through 7. Heading on the 1 mile stretch towards turns 8 and 9. These Le Mans drivers have to be careful, especially if you're on the outside lane into a very tight turn 8. This is where Fit hits the shan here, ladies and gentlemen. Sato is the first one to lead them. On the outside is Voiles. Eric Monaco will go on to his side in the 2 car. He'll be the first one to be bitten by the turn 8 fence. Nagora on the outside lane punts the 2 right in the back end, right in front of Connor Monaco. 6 cars stacking up as Connor Monaco runs right into his younger brother. Logan Williams runs right into the one machine of Griffin Lynn. And both Monaco brothers are going to be taken out of this race. Matt Lagasse, Alex Lozano, and a bunch of Daytona drivers caught up along with both the 40 and the 7. Couple of leaders for GT Le Mans. Off the face of the earth goes the 72 of Dustin Davis. And already a lot of cars falling off as we see the tire tracks back in there for GT Le Mans. Well, folks, definitely have a lot to review as Aguirre Sato will lead the Le Mans drivers after an exciting lap 1 of chaos here in Thornton And you see a line of drivers on the pit lane. After those incidents, Bradley Ream is able to get back onto the track. Don't see Nathan Stapleton just yet. Stapleton coming back in the 7. The outside pole sitter being shuffled quite a ways back in the 7 car. You'll see the replays on your screen. Eric Monaco get back going in that 2 machine after being towed back. Actually, he wasn't towed back. He was hit from behind by that lady right there, Tatiana Nagora. Well, suffice it to say, an exciting opening lap of chaos in case you are just tuning in. As Aguirre Sato out front by a wide margin for GT Le Mans. Connor Monaco, Matt Lagacy, and Logan Williams have pulled it behind the wall, the first 3 retirees of this afternoon's race. Tough break for Connor Monaco, 55 points away from Dylan Matthews in the points. Good news is Dustin Davis also falling off the face of the earth, and he'll be out depending on how Dylan Matthews fares in the rest of this race. She might pull a long ways away in this battle for the GT Daytona Championship lead. Matthews already with 1 win on the season, looking for another. As Le Mans will go into turn number 6 onto the interchange for I-80 will follow along with GT Daytona. And right as we're talking about her, Dylan Matthews hard into the Armco. Brooke Paquette was in it as well, and a horrifying crash for Dylan Matthews. Oh boy, thank God that this is a video game, because Dylan Matthews would have just been liquefied there in the 26 car. Oh my goodness, what a hellacious hit for that Mustang. Well, the commentator's curse strikes once again. You'll see it on your screen. Monaco and Paquette a little too close for comfort going into the corner, and oh my God, what a hit for Dylan Matthews. Straight through the attenuator, through the barrel, and through the fence, and a sickening hit, Romain Grosjean style. Splitting that car in half. I think you'd rather, not Romain Grosjean style, I think you'd like him to say that's either Mike Harmon or Michael Waltrip at Bristol style. Completely shredding that Mustang apart. Riley Sampson and Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzwater's able to stay on all 4 tires. Sampson cannot stay the same. Now does he teleport back before GT Daytona catches up to him? He's still stationary through the corner and just in the nick of time before the Daytona cars catch up to him. And Riley Sampson, a tough break for the 36. I think he would have rather to get run off as Roberto Crown Jr. Bye-bye off the face of the earth goes the NOS Toyota. And I tell you, GTLM is just dropping like flies right now. So Owen Miles will go to the point in the 59. One of Griffin Lynn also falling off as well. Actually, no, Griffin Lynn is just on the track. He fell behind in that crash. Back up to the front for all of these drivers. There is Crown Jr., who was teleported back to the pits after falling off the face of the earth. You'll get a replay on your screen of every time somebody falls into the quarry. Again, we're joking. We're concerned about Dylan Matthews literally getting ripped to shreds, and then we're just joking about drivers falling 150 feet to their deaths, essentially. You know, driver gets shredded. That's fine. Driver gets shredded. Oh, Lord, clutch my pearls. Driver falls 150 feet to their death. Average day here in Thornton, Illinois. On to lap number 3, Owen Miles leads. Pretty much what's left of GT Le Mans right now. Only 10 cars up here in this lead pack for the Le Mans guys. One of those being Jaden Russell looking to extend his points lead over Eric Monaco. And off the face, rather off track, go the 56 and the 99. Turn 9 striking, and Nathan Buchanan is immediately gonna go off track and into the garage area. We'll see if Micah Knapp also joins him. Micah Knapp is gonna go off for a nice and lovely adventure in that 59 car, and he's probably gonna go a couple of laps down. Tough break for the old 56 of Micah Knapp. Was looking for a good run today, and well, 3 laps into, suffice it to say, what has been the craziest opening 3 laps of any race we've had this season, and boy howdy, we are so far from done in this race. We haven't even gotten to the first round of pit stops as we work on lap number 3. Not even the opening 3 laps. We'll call it the opening 2.5 laps of racing. So you see everybody trying to repair as much damage as they can, and credit to both the 12 and the 64 have not pulled it behind the wall yet, as Micah Knapp is off on his own adventure, JoJo style. Logan Alexander out front in the 71 and is what is left of the Daytona crowd as well. Not sure what happened to Zachary Fitzwater in the 62. He was started in first and has fallen back to 9th, as they are wadding it up pretty tightly here for GT Lamar. Russell on the outside of all this kerfuffle, 4 wide, going off for the corner. Caleb Rose going for the lead underneath Owen Miles. We'll see if anybody catches air off of the median. Nobody does this time around just yet. Miles has got to be careful in the 59, trying to tiptoe through the tulips. Aguirre Sato was not careful, and into the corner, and around goes the 20. He takes out the points leader. Jaden Russell able to keep it straight. My goodness, how did he keep that Corvette straight? Same cannot be said for the 20 machine of Sebastian Palmer. Hard into the wall goes John Stewart in the 98, and Palmer's got to be careful, merging back in front of the Daytona crowd. Russell is only going to lose a handful of spots, as he'll get it back going in the 8 machine, narrowly avoiding disaster. Well, the racing gods certainly do not show any mercy onto any of these drivers as we begin lap number 4. Caleb Rose, Skylar Taylor, the 59 of Owen Miles, your podium for GT Lamar right now for GT Daytona. Out to a relatively comfortable lead is a 71 of Logan Alexander, Brad Stover, and John Stewart. The Vipers making up the first 3 positions, rather the first 4 positions for the GTD class. The first Mustang in line, the 16 of Ryan Durrani, with the Juan Rodriguez right at his 5 o'clock. Transitioning back to 6 o'clock, those 2 on top of one another. Nose to tail, the 75 and the 16 go. Still on his bizarre adventure JoJo style is Micah Knapp trundling along at 7 miles an hour. He'll eventually get to the end. They all do. So when Miles goes to the lead and something happened in the 45. I believe that turn number 4 struck for Skylar Taylor, and she goes off into the shadow realm and is immediately out of this race. You'll see the replay on your screen. I believe she got a little bit of help from your leader right now, and Owen Miles, as the Lamar field will pass by the 56 of Micah Knapp. It's weird. That's the 3rd driver that is basically gone off into the nether, as Brad Stover has gotten around the 71 for the top spot in GT Daytona. Alexander back to the inside of Stover. Stewart waiting in the wings. It's top 3 for GTLM. We'll fight in a 3-way dogfight, a menage a trois for the top spot Mike Vincent Jr. a little wide through the corner as Aguirre Sato continues to hemorrhage positions in that 49 car. Still, the 12 and the 64 have not gone to the garage area yet, and with everybody falling out of the race like they have been, I don't blame them, as, well, that's going to be the end of the road for the 56 if he can't get back going. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how baby cars are born. We'll see if Micah Knapp, and he's going to teleport back to the pit lane, and that'll be the end of that. Like we always say, Thornton is indeed a track. It's one of the tracks of our time, as the Le Mans field is basically just down to 10 cars at this point, competitively. And we're only on lap number 4. That is how bonkers insane Thornton is. And of course, we would not have it any other way. But again, going to Bridgehampton in a month's time for the Fall Classic on Long Island. And in November, going to Autumn Hill, that one replacing Barber. Zachary Fitzwater rides the Armco on the outside. He'll keep it straight. Like we said, the penultimate race of the season being held at Autumn Hill instead of Barber. And then, of course, Riverside holding the season finale on Christmas Day. Like we said, that is then, and this is, of course, now. Somebody hitting the wall. I couldn't tell who that was, and it's Ryan Durrani, who rode the outside, Icarusing it into turn number 8. And Durrani will be teleported to the pit area. A lot of drivers still in the pits as Connor Monaco has gone behind the wall. A lot of drivers have gone behind as well. You see Eric Monaco trundling around in car number 2. And Sebastian Palmer will head down the pit lane. We are on lap number 5. This is about where we expect these drivers to come down. Palmer was involved in an incident in turn 8 with the 8 car. And he is going to try to play it a little safe here, fuel-wise. We should expect these guys to come down the pit lane anytime between, well, this lap is pretty much where they're at. Between this lap and the next lap, and I would come down this lap because, I don't know. I don't know how hard you want to risk it. Zebratar going for a pass in the grass. Going from 5th to potentially the lead in that Ace Jaguar. Can't quite get it to stick for the point. But nonetheless, a good couple of moves there from that 3 machine. I don't know if these guys are going to try to stretch it to lap 6. Because if you come down on lap 6, then you're going to come down on 12. And that's coming to 2 to go. But then I don't know if you could stretch it out a little further than that. I really don't know if these guys are going to try to stretch it all the way out to 6 and then potentially run a one-stop race. It should be possible to do. Emphasis on should. But again, that could all go out the window if these guys would like to come down now. And then, of course, they'll come down on lap number 10. And that'll likely be the end of it. Flashing through the rest of this field, getting ever so close to our Twisted Tea race break after the opening set of pit stops. Mike Vincent Jr. will go to 2nd, tucking right behind the 59 of Owen Miles. 3 machine of Blaze Zebratar behind the 78 as well. As it go down I-80, you see all the traffic on the other side being halted, fans waving towards the drivers. They come down here at 225 mile an hour, not following the speed limit whatsoever. But again, these guys essentially driving like they're in New Jersey down onto the interstate. Into turn number 7, cutting it deep there is Caleb Rose. Not able to get there quite in time is the 5 car, and he'll split everybody 3 wide for second. And the remaining Le Mans field, which is not as tight as they would want to be, but still, considering everything that has happened, well, it is about an 8-car pack here for GTLM, and that's pretty much all that's left. Oh, maybe a 7 and 6 car pack as Owen Miles will lose a few spots in the 59. He is going to get a little aero damage in that Exxon Corvette. Tough break for both him and Caleb Rose as they collide into one another. Fortunately for them, this might be the pit stop. The money lap stop here as we'll see if these drivers come down the pit lane, and they indeed will. Feeding time onto the pit area as Gavinu and Santos have officially pulled their cars behind the wall. The 3 machine will lead the field onto the pit area. Blaze Zebratar, we'll see if he takes 4 tires, potentially a 2-tire stop, and filling it full of octane racing fuel. It is indeed going to be a 2-tire stop for Blaze Zebratar. He is out and away, nearly cuts back into the 84. Zebratar, first one off of the pits. He'll serve it up coming out of the pit area. Fitzwater is out. 3 cars all together coming out onto the service area as we'll watch the GT Daytona cars come out. Brad Stover out and away. Igor Barreto in front of him. Stover and the 475 of Rodriguez come together on the pit lane. Alexander will lead them out. A slow stop for the 5 machine. As Caleb Rose is going to lose touch with the rest of the GTLM field. So we'll expect these drivers to come back down the pit lane on lap number 10. But everybody coming in on lap number 5. Bradley Ream in the back there in the 40. Had an issue on the opening lap of the race. Same thing with Daniel Bouchard, as Bouchard will trundle down into the pit area in that 8 car. I don't believe anybody elected to do a 4-tire stop. Pretty much everybody that didn't have damage doing stops in the 11.5 to 12 second range. So remember, the fastest 4-tire pit stop will get you 5 bonus points. As everybody will come off the pit area. Daniel Bouchard just gets past the pace car, doesn't sideswipe it cold trickle style. Dustin Davis has also refused to pull it behind the wall as well, trying to get as many repairs as he can. Again, he fell off the face of the earth, but of course with the 26 car falling off, and I don't know if Davis is just trying to get it out one lap, but he might pull it to the garage area irregardlessly. A tough break for Dustin Davis. But back up here, all the way in his own zip code in GT Le Mans, is Blaze Zebratar, looking to get 2 in a row for the Jags. Back in here for Daytona, a much closer battle between Alexander and Barreto. Barreto and Alexander, teammates on the Mission Barbecue Cup Series circuit. They are far from teammates here, as Barreto will send it to the inside of the driver of the 71. Rather, that's Mitchell Collins. I'm thinking of Logan Alexander driving the 58. It was the 71 that tripped me up between Barreto and Logan Alexander. Alexander driving for Dracoan Racing. Owen Miles is somewhere on this track, trying to find the 59. He might actually... Nope, there's Owen Miles. Dracoan Racing owner-driver on the MBCS side of things. Zebratar still out front, so while we got a little bit of a break, we'll go downstairs and get you a little bit of a Twisted T race break. Up front, starting with Blaze Zebratar in first. Second is Mike Vincent Jr. Reggie Fogelman is third. Dano Georgi 4th, Fitzwater 5th, Sato is 6th, Owen Miles 7th, 8th is Jaden Russell, 9th is Caleb Rose. Currently running in 10th for GTLM is Sebastian Palmer. 11th is Bradley Ream, 12th Nathan Stapleton, 13th Riley Sampson, 14th is Eric Monaco, and that's all that's left. 2/3 of the field remain for GT Le Mans. I just got an electrical shock right in the ear from my headset. Oh, that was the most painful thing I've experienced today. As we go back for the GT Daytona lead, Igor Barreto in first, second is Alexander, third is Michael Brown, fourth Juan Rodriguez, fifth Brad Stover. Actually, Daniel Voiles is actually ninth here for GT Le Mans, so 15 drivers remain for GTLM. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth is Josh Harmon, seventh Blake Bavillier, eighth is John Stewart, ninth Colin Bear, 10th is Alex Lozano, 11th is Daniel Bouchard, 12th Ryan Durrani, 13th Griffin Lynn, and that wraps up the entire field here in today's race. Not sure what that was. That scared the crap out of me. But nonetheless, Blaze Zebratar remaining out front in the 3 machine. And this is the quiet before the storm as some fresh tire tracks into turns 8 and 9. We're going to actually watch this battle here, a 3-way battle. For the GT Daytona lead, Blaze Zebratar with a second lead over Mike Vincent Jr. So we'll stick with these guys as they go down towards turn number 5. Ooh, 3 wide is Michael Brown. He forces the issue. Does he make it stick? He does. What an outside move from Michael Brown in the 25. Able to get the 2-for-1 special, and he'll set sail in that CarQuest Viper. Impressive move on the outside, getting the momentum run in that 25 car. And he is out front. There's a little bit of lap traffic. Now, that's not even close to lap traffic between Zebratar and Lynn and Monaco. Monaco actually under fire from Griffin Lynn. Monaco is actually passing Griffin Lynn right now. Micah Knapp still on the pit lane. Able to only lose a couple of positions there on the 26 was the 072 of Dustin Davis. So Davis is going to be 55 points behind Dylan Matthews. Connor Monaco is going to lose some ground on Dylan Matthews right now in the catbird seat. If we can find him. Wow, somehow coming back onto the racetrack is Micah Knapp. Good to see Napper coming back onto the track. That man is in the catbird seat right now for GT Daytona. Right now running in 10th for GT Daytona. And the way that things stand right now, 10th compared to... Let's see, Monaco's only going to get 1 point. Getting 15 points will be the 72. 20 points will be the 26. And 10th is 55 points. It's not a lot, but it's going to definitely put a dent in Dylan Matthews' lead. And of course, that it matters that Colin Bear finishes this race because we're just past the halfway point. In fact, this is the midway point in today's race on lap number 7, so a lot can still go wrong. Again, we've got a last second. We've got another set of pit stops coming up. A lot can still happen, but Colin Bear, I don't think he's going to surpass Dylan Matthews in the points. Yeah, again, Colin Bear was 75 behind Dylan Matthews coming into this race, so the way that these things stand, He's only going to gain maybe about 30 points on to Dylan Matthews. But considering what we know about the point situation and how we thought it was going to extend massively before Dylan Matthews experienced Romain Grosjean syndrome, well, things are just going to be a little different here. But nonetheless, checking on the points situation for GT Le Mans. Jaden Russell right now running in 8th. Right now, that's going to put him plus 65. Dano Georgi currently 2nd. Blaise Zebratar is only 25 points away, and he currently holds the race lead right now. Georgi with the fastest lap, trying to catch up to this 3 machine as he is right on his rear end. Oh, might have gotten turned going into 4 as Mike Vincent Jr. A little close for comfort with that 78 car. Vincent Jr. will go up to 2nd. Again, Blaise Zebratar only 25 behind Jaden Russell, so the way things stand, Zebratar might actually be the points leader. The way things are running right now, he'd get 110 points. Right now, he's led a lap. He's led the most laps. Actually, he'd get 115 points the way that 115 points the way that things stand right now, compared to the 65. So that's about a 40-point swing. So, again, the way the things stand right now, Blaise Zebratar is going to be the points leader going into Bridgehampton next month. So Riley Sampson will come down the pit lane. Same thing with Ryan Durrani. Remember, these guys came down on lap number 3 after having issues. The 5 laps pace that these guys are setting pretty much coming home to roost as for the lead, Mike Vincent Jr. tucked into the inside of Blaise Zebratar into 78. Vincent Jr. Trying to remember if he won at Willow Springs or not. This is not going to be in the lead for much longer as Blaise Zebratar and that Jaguar cutting through like a knife through butter. Vincent Jr. tucks back in line in the 78, and Vincent Jr. actually did win at Willow Springs for GT Le Mans. Just that Riley Sampson finished 2nd, but those two swapped the lead in that race quite a few times. Right on his 6th there is Vincent Jr. He's trying to tuck to the inside. Coming around to 5 laps to go this time by. The next time by, we'll expect these cars to come down the pit lane. Actually, not this next time by, but the time after that. Lap 10 going on to lap 11 is when we expect these cats to come down. Griffin Lynn surviving in the Bardall number 1. Same thing for Micah Knapp, although Knapp is 3 laps down in the 56. Eighth time today, these drivers will go into Ridge Road under speed. Top 3 pulling away from the second 3 right there. Zebratar has got it. 5, count them, 5 laps to go. Here from Thornton, Zebratar out front, Vincent Jr. and Georgi. Couple of Corvettes right behind him. In fact, I believe Zebratar is the only Jaguar remaining in this race. No, where's Daniel Voiles? Voiles was here. There's Daniel Voiles. He's the only competitive Jaguar remaining in this race. Voiles tucking all the way back deep in the field. Right now in the 11th spot for GT Le Mans. Vincent Jr. is not done yet as they work on lap number 9 down Cottage Grove. Vincent Jr. right on the rear end of that 3-car. These guys got to be careful going into Cottage Grove. Just tiptoeing through the tulips are these top 3 drivers. Zachary Fitzwater goes wide through the corner, trying to pick up position number 4. Getting past Reggie Fogelman, and Fogelman just wanting a good run today. He has been free-falling in the point standings over the last 3 races. Actually, make that the last 4 races. Mexico City with a DNF at Mosport, a DNF at Watkins Glen. Was able to get a decent run at Old Spice. But the man who was leading the championship fight for the majority of the early part of the season, the first 4 races, 3 races in the mid-season stretch, just completely coming apart for that Interstate Batteries 06 car. Right now running in 5th the way that they run. And again, everybody in front of him having so-so days. Sebastian Palmer is in the back. Blaze Ebertar is leading with Nathan Ormond. Ormond is out of this race, I believe. I don't know where Ormond's at. Yeah, Ormond is out. Forget how he got out. Sure, there'll be a replay at some point or another, but Ormond is out. Fitzwater is up front. Riley Sampson had issues. Sato is running right behind him. Santos is out. Rose is running towards the back. Taylor is out, and Gavineau is out. And again, Fogelman is only 99 points behind, so he's not, it's not like it's otherworldly, like he's completely out of it, like Bradley Ream, Logan Williams, and Crown Jr. are all the way at the bottom, like in the 300 levels. He's only 99 out. You know, if you just got to keep your nose clean for the rest of this race. You know, you got a lot of cars in the garage area. All you got to do is just not do anything stupid. And you're not exactly golden, Pony Boy, but you're pretty gilded. For the time being, of course, you've got to have really good runs over the next couple of races. Again, Bridgehampton's going to be a wild card. That race is all about the start. Autumn Hill is, well, just stay on the inside lane going through the final corner. And then Riverside is, again, just surviving the start. That's basically what the majority of these races in the FMGTC are just surviving the opening 5 or so lap chaos that these races typically bring, and you're basically just home free. Again, Watkins Glen is an outlier. I mean, okay, let's be real. Daytona's an outlier. Willow Springs is fairly calm. Papyrus can get tricky at times. Denver was, what, only 2 DNFs in that race, but here we go. Lap number 9, everybody coming onto the pit lane. And it's feed-in time for the top 6 drivers in GT Le Mans. Blaze Zebratar, we'll see if he takes 4 tires. He's only going to take 2 tires on the left side. And he is out and away in the 3 car. All the way off. Bye-bye goes that 3 machine. An extended stop for Mike Vincent Jr. He is out. 18 seconds. 19 seconds for the 06. I believe those drivers took 4 tires, and, you know, like we were saying, you've got a lot of cushion between yourself and everybody else. Why not try to get the fastest 4-tire pit stop? Although if Mike Vincent Jr. got 4 tires, he's going to get 5 bonus points, and that gamble might be in vain for Fogelman. But Fogelman's only going to lose 1 spot if that is indeed the case. But Zachary Fitzwater, a blinding pit stop in the 62. So we'll go back here in some split strategy for GT Daytona. As the Daytona car is splitting things. Igor Barreto electing to try to stretch the lap along with Michael Brown. We'll see if the overcut indeed does work. But again, 2 tire stops for taking gas and 2 tires on the left side. seem to be the majority of these orders for these drivers right now. I don't see any 4 tire stops for the GTD guys. But a huge lead right now. That is the lead Blaze Zebratar has over the 62 of Zachary Fitzwater. And again, he is a very, very lonely man as Blaze Zebratar out front. But again, we got 3 laps to go. I wouldn't be surprised if Fitzy just tries to drag the brake just a little bit to allow this 84 and 49 to catch up to him. That might be in vain, as Sato and the 84 of Georgi are going to side draft one another, and that's going to allow this 62 to try to pull away just a little bit. Back into here. Seb Palmer, along with the GT Daytona leaders, he'll push Michael Brown to the point for GT Daytona. Brown looking for his first win of the season. Same thing for Barretto. Palmer just trying to get as many positions on the track that he can in that 20 car. Back up front, and I thought there was an issue on the 5 of Caleb Rose, but he's just trundling around, and you see the massive lead that Zebratar has got. We'll see if we can get a decent point. We're not going to get a good vantage point from that camera angle. I'm just trying to show the magnitude of this lead that Zebratar has got. He is just now entering Halstead. Fitzwater is in the apex. We'll go on board with Fitzwater here. Can't even see him. That is a gap for first place in GT Le Mans right now, and Blaze Zebratar just needs to run clean 3 final laps, and he is home free, as that's going to be the end of the day for Micah Knapp. He goes hard into the quarry, and he'll teleport to the pit area. Tough break for Micah Knapp, who is 3 laps down. He'll go to the pits. Heavy damage as Griffin Lynn will make his final pit stop. Zebratar extra careful, going around turn number 11. Fitzwater will do the same. So you'll see the replay of the 56. The battle for GTD heats up once again. 2 cars side by side, and they are in their own zip code. Next car in line, the 71 of Logan Alexander. Hoping that these two will take one another out. But remember, these top 3 drivers for GT Daytona, all on different strategies. Brad Stover, I believe Stover is on a different strategy as well. Trying to remember who pit and who didn't. But here we go. No, they're going to stretch it an extra lap. I don't know if these guys came down yet. Well, it's too late to see if they did. I don't know. I don't know if Brown came in already. Well, let's check to see. Yeah, Brown and Barretto came in already, so they're good on fuel. So this is the final battle for GT Daytona. It might have just ended there. As, oh boy, what happened to Blaze Zebratar? Oh, I think he got pinned up behind the 1 car, and Zachary Fitzwater had a huge run as Fitzy, the pole sitter, will go to the race lead. I don't know. I think Zebratar's got an engine issue. I don't see any mechanical failures there for the 3, but he is hemorrhaging spots right now. Zachary Fitzwater out to a huge lead in the 62 as we take a look at it. That is a very, very tough break for Blaze Zebratar, and he is trying to fight back as far as he can. Aguirre Sato pinned behind the 1 machine. But now Fitzwater might be a sitting duck in the late stages of this race. This might actually play into Zebratar's favor as he is pinned in line with the 84 of Dano Georgi, who will go up to second. Zebratar, oh, he is going to be very slow through the corner. There's got to be an issue on that 3 car. I just don't know what it is. You see the lead for this 62 machine. All the way there, about 2 seconds as we come around to 2 to go next time by. That is really, really tough for Blaze Zebratar. Again, I don't know if it was a mechanical failure or what. I just don't see if I can just get this down here on the pylon. Again, I don't see anything. But he is very, very slow right now. Zachary Fitzwater, the way things are running, might run away with this. But again, he's got Eric Monaco in front. Can never be too careful about these races as Dano Georgi looking to get his second win of the season. Back in here for GT Daytona. These two still on top of one another. Sebastian Palmer has gotten around them. Michael Brown to the inside. Those two running side by side for the lead in Daytona. Quickly see how Fitzwater gets around the 2 with ease is how he gets around him. And now Mike Vincent Jr. gets around the 3 of Zebratar. I don't know where Mike and Knapp went. Nope. Well, we know where Mike and Knapp went. I don't know where Griffin Lynn went. Reggie Fogelman might actually pick up another position here as Zebratar has got something wrong on the 3. But Zachary Fitzwater, been an up and down day for Fitzy. We'll take the sticks high. 2 laps to go for Fitzwater in the 62. Back to the battle for GT Daytona. Still side by side are Barretto and Brown. Barretto on the high side. Remember, these two already came down. Logan Alexander running behind these guys by about 8 seconds is the gap between Barretto, Brown, and Alexander. With 2 laps to go, and Blaze Zebratar making an unscheduled stop. And that's going to be a heartbreaking loss for Zebratar as he comes out on the pit lane. He'll surrender a position to Caleb Rose, and going from 1st to 9th is that 3 machine. Tough break for Zebra. Good news is he's still going to gain ground on Monaco. Sebastian Palmer is going to be right on his 6. He's going to gain 5 points on the Palmer. And the way the things run right now, Jaden Russell is going to extend his points lead, I'd say by about 20 points. We'll call it 25 points. Russell right now running in 8th. We'll call it 30-point lead for Jaden Russell going into Bridgehampton next month. But down 394 for the second to final time. And this race is not over just yet. Tandem drafting between the 84 and the 49. And just as we say that, Dano Georgi will move to the inside. He thinks he has a run. He's not going to get it. It's all over but the crying for GT Daytona, or GT Le Mans. For GT Daytona, Michael Brown out front in the 25. Remember, Igor Barretto trying to cut hard into this lead that Dylan Matthews put up. Matthews, Davis, and Monaco all out of this race for GT Daytona. We'll see where Colin Bear is. He is off on his own. Running 7th for GTD right now. Bear came into this race 75 behind, and he is going to cut in substantially into that lead for GT Daytona. as the GTLM penultimate leaders continue to go side by side, and that's exactly what Zachary Fitzwater wants to see out of his rear view mirror. He's not going to lead the most laps, but he's going to lead when it counts. Through turn 7 to the second to final time. Second and third still side by side with one another, and Aguirre Sato trying to get 5 more points to inch his way closer into this championship battle for GTLM. Still side by side are the GT Daytona leaders at the halfway point down the stretch on I-80. Fitzwater through the corner. Remember, we mentioned him going off of that Armco. He gathered it back and going, got it back going. And I knew in the back of my head that that was going to be a big move in this race, with Fitzwater able to gather it back. Turn 11 for the second to final time. Nice and easy moves for Fitzy. This time by, he will get the white flag waving in the air one more time around the streets of Thornton. 12 miles around Cook County remain between Zachary Fitzwater and his first win over the railroad tracks with ease. Aguirre Sato will take second place away from Dano Georgi. Back in here for GT Daytona. These two still all over one another. Logan Alexander is a non-factor. It's a dogfight for fourth on back. Brown trying to hold off this 14 car. And they will indeed catch up to the 3 machine of... Oh boy. That was close, as back down the pit lane is Blaze Zebratar. It's going to open up a gap for the 56. White flag in the air for GT Daytona. How do these guys get around Daniel Voiles? Or rather, how does Daniel Voiles get around these GT Daytona leaders? Trying to give him as much space as possible, as Barretto is not relenting. Back to the front for GT Lamar. Fitzwater setting sail as they're through turn 4. Nice and straight for those drivers. Back for Daytona. Here we go. Barretto to the inside of the 25. Transitioning to the outside. Brown with the preferred line through the woods. Voiles might be a factor. He is just trying to get around these slow GT Daytona leaders. And he is going to be a pick between the 25 and the 14. That might be all Michael Brown needed, as Igor Barretto trying to close back in. Voiles on the outside of Michael Brown. Can this 14 car get through? Trying to get a run off the corner. No dice just yet. Back up front for Fitzwater. In the lead for GT Lamar is the 62. He will go around nice and easy through turn number 7. Sato and Georgi still side by side. Back here for GT Daytona. Voiles has gotten around the GTD leaders. Still a dogfight between these two drivers. Barretto's got a run to the inside. He's still in Voiles' wake just a little bit. Trying to get that preferred line going into 6 is Barretto. Can he hold it to the interchange? Still a long way to go before that interchange, and Michael Brown looking to shut the door. Brown has got an edge. Barretto tucks back in line. Back up front for Lamar. Still nothing of it, as Zachary Fitzwater looking to run away with this one. All eyes are on the GT Daytona battle right now as they're into the interchange. Here's Barretto to the inside of Brown. Barretto fighting hard to that 14. Can he get an edge around Brown? He can. No, Brown got a good run off the outside. Here comes the 25. And that might be it if Barretto can't get back there in time. Still a dogfight for second place for GT Lamar. But out front, Zachary Fitzwater showing the way. We'll quickly check back in with these drivers, but it might all be over if Barretto can't get back there in time. Through 8 and 9 for the final time, Fitzwater saying that corner is not going to mess me up this time. Through turns 10, onto Ridge Road for the final time. And through turn 11, nice and easy through the corner. And he will take it. Checkered flag waving in the air. And the god of NR 2003 will see his first checkered flag of the season. Zachary Fitzwater gets it done at Thornton. Second and third will go to the 84 and the 49 as we're back out front here for GT Daytona. Brown showing the way, Barretto right behind him. Does Barretto have anything left in the tank for Michael Brown? Barretto's going to have 2 final corners to catch back up to this 25 car. Nose to tail are the 2 leaders for GT Daytona. Logan Alexander's a non-factor. Rather, it's Griffin Lynn who was able to get around Logan Alexander. But off of the final corner, Brown takes it with ease. Barretto is all out. Checkered flag waving in the air. The number 25 of Michael Brown is gonna go to Gatorade victory lane today. Brown wins GT Daytona. Second is Barretto. Third is Griffin Lynn. And that will do it. Fitzwater gets the job done for GT Le Mans. Second will be Georgi. Third is the 49. Not able to get that final spot right at the end was the 06, but I believe that Fogelman will indeed take it. And a big fist bump in the air for Michael Brown, able to get the win for GT Daytona. It actually was going to be third for Logan Alexander. I forgot that the 1 car was a lap down. So we'll make sure everybody will continue or finish the end of the race. Only a couple of stragglers remain. Bradley Ream will come home in the 40 car. Stapleton still on I-80. But Zachary Fitzwater gets the job done. Goes wire to wire in the 62 car. Dano Georgi Aguirre-Sada round out the podium. Vincent Jr. and Reggie Fogelman round out the top 5. Waiting for Nathan Stapleton to cross the start-finish line and make things complete as we take a look at the rest of the field. Then we'll go for GT Daytona. Michael Brown, Igor Barretto, and Logan Alexander. The podium for GTD. It's Nathan Stapleton on to Halstead Street for the final time today. And it is indeed a sweet victory for Zachary Fitzwater. While we wait for the 7, let's see who had the fastest lap in the race. Fastest lap going to Dano Georgi and Ryan Durrani. Stapleton will come down Ridge Road for the final time. Fastest pit stop also going to Mike Vincent Jr., I believe. And that number 78, of course, will make sure that he did take 4 tires. I believe Blake Pavillier took 4 tires as well on that final stop. Again, we'll make sure everybody did take 4 tires. But Stapleton will take the checkered flag. And the race and the results are official. Fitzy, Georgi, Sato, your GTLM podium. Brown, Barretto, and Alexander, your GT Daytona podium. As Zachary Fitzwater will get his first win of the season. Jaden Russell finishing 7th. We'll see his point lead cut into just a little bit. Zachary Fitzwater will get past Eric Monaco, Seb Palmer, Blaise Bertar, and Nathan Ormond. This guy of NR 2003 will notch another win into his belt here in this 62 car. But that is going to do it here from Thornton, Illinois, from the streets of Thornton. Congratulations once again to Zachary Fitzwater and Michael Brown for winning the Dollar General Thornton 13, and we will see you next month eastside in the island town of Sag Harbor, New York for the Long Island Fall Classic at Bridgehampton right here on the NASRN. Thank you once again for tuning in to today's coverage of the Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship. Here are your point standings after race number 9 of the FMGTC, and from Thornton, Illinois, on behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, folks.